It was 8:45 a.m. when James Carter's world imploded. A searing pain hit him at his Seattle accounting firm, but it wasn't just physical. It was the first crack in his 12-year marriage. By noon, he'd uncover a secret that would change everything. His wife, Lauren, was hiding an $800,000 fortune and a life of lies. James, 38, kissed Lauren goodbye that Monday morning, her real estate agent's smile as polished as ever. "Have a great day, hon," she said, her voice dripping with that rehearsed charm he'd grown to dislike. He didn't know it yet, but her words hid a betrayal that would shatter their family. As he drove to work, his mind churned with deadlines, reports due by month's end. His daughters, Emma, 14, and Sophie, 12, were at school, their laughter the anchor of his life. At the office, James barely settled into his cubicle when a sharp, burning sensation doubled him over. His coworker, Mark, noticed his grimace. "You okay, man?" Mark asked, concern etching his face. James shook his head, clutching his side. "Feels like fire," he muttered. Mark, ever the supportive boss, insisted, "Get to urgent care. I'll cover your reports." Grateful, James grabbed his briefcase and headed out, telling the receptionist he'd be back tomorrow or longer. The urgent care clinic, just blocks away, was sterile and quiet. After a quick swab, James waited, his thoughts racing. Had he caught something from a public restroom? A gym towel? The nurse called his name sharply. "James Carter!" Her cold demeanor unnerved him as she led him to an exam room, checking his vitals with mechanical precision. "Doctor will see you soon," she said, leaving him alone with his dread. Dr. Ellis, a gray-haired physician, entered with a folder. "Mr. Carter," he said, his tone direct, "your tests show chlamydia, a sexually transmitted infection." James froze, the word hitting like a freight train. "Chlamydia?" he repeated, his voice hollow. "That's impossible. I've only been with my wife." Dr. Ellis met his gaze. "It's spread through sexual contact. Your wife needs to be tested soon. Untreated, it can cause serious complications." James nodded, his mind reeling. Lauren, his only partner, had given him this? The betrayal cut deeper than the pain. Driving home, James gripped the steering wheel, torn between cursing Lauren and praying for strength. He called Mark, his voice shaking. "It's an infection. I need a few days." Mark's response was immediate. "Take all the time you need, James. Your privacy's safe with me." Hanging up, James dialed his parents, devout Christians who raised him with strict values. No sex before marriage, no alcohol, no lies. His father, Paul, answered warmly. "Hey, son, you at work?" "No, Dad," James said, his throat tight. "I'm in trouble. Can I come over?" "It's not the girls, they're fine." Paul's tone shifted to concern. "Come right now. We'll have coffee and talk." James hung up, the weight of his discovery pressing harder. Lauren's late nights, her work seminars, her fake smile, had they all been lies? At his parents' cozy suburban home, James was greeted with a hug from Paul. His mother, Diane, poured coffee, adding cream and pecan syrup, a family ritual. "Let's pray first," Paul suggested, and after a brief prayer, James spilled everything. The pain, the diagnosis, the doctor's words. Diane gasped, her hand over her mouth. "Oh, James, no." Paul stayed calm, his eyes steady. "You're sure it's from Lauren?" "She's the only one I've ever been with," James said, his voice breaking. "I waited until marriage, like you taught me." Paul nodded. "I believe you, son. What's your plan?" Diane's eyes welled up. "You can't stay with her, James. The girls are old enough to understand." James agreed, his resolve hardening. "I can't trust her anymore. I need a lawyer." Paul flipped through his Rolodex, a relic of his deacon days, and found Rachel Torres, a family law attorney from their church. "Rachel's the best," he said, dialing her number. After a brief call, he turned to James. "She can see you at 12:30 today. Bring your financials and tax returns for the last 2 years." James nodded, his mind racing. "I should get my papers from home. And I need to tell Lauren to get tested." For her health, at least. Diane suggested, let the girls stay with us for a few days. Things might get tense at home. Paul agreed, adding, bring them after school. We'll handle their routines. James hugged them, gratitude mixing with his anger. Thanks, Mom, Dad. I want to confront her, but I know I shouldn't. Not yet. Paul gripped his shoulder. Romans 12 verse 19, Son. Vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. Don't do anything rash. Think of Emma and Sophie. Back in his car, James drove home, his thoughts a storm. Lauren's success as a real estate agent, her commissions, her late nights, had always seemed legitimate. But now, her absences felt sinister. He remembered Emma mentioning Lauren's flirty phone calls, her fake voice giggling with someone she called honey. The memory stung, fueling his resolve to uncover the truth. At home, James rifled through their files, grabbing his tax returns. Lauren had insisted on filing separately 8 years ago, claiming it saved money. Now he wondered why. Digging deeper, he found bank statements from an unfamiliar account in her name. The latest balance, $792,436. His jaw dropped. Where had this money come from? Was she planning to leave him to escape with her secret fortune? He stuffed the statements into his folder, his heart pounding. His phone buzzed, a text from Lauren. Late showing tonight, don't wait up for dinner. XO. James stared at the screen, his fingers hovering over the keyboard. No problem, he typed, leaving off his usual, love you. Did she notice? He didn't care. He grabbed his folder and headed to Rachel Torres's office, determination replacing his shock. Rachel, a sharp-eyed woman in her 40s, greeted him warmly. James, I'm so sorry about this, she said, offering coffee. Over mugs, he explained everything, the diagnosis, the bank account, Emma's overheard calls. Rachel nodded, jotting notes. This is serious. Adultery is grounds for divorce here, and that infection strengthens your case. The money, though, she might claim it's for retirement. We need proof of her intent. What can we do? James asked, his voice steady. Rachel leaned forward. I can hire a private investigator to dig into her activities. It's costly, but it could give us solid evidence for court. Want to proceed? James didn't hesitate. Yes. Let's do it. He pulled out his phone, opening a tracking app he'd installed when Lauren lost her phone months ago. Her location blinked, a house on Seattle's north side. She's there now, he said, showing Rachel. Perfect, Rachel said, copying the address. My PI will start today. We'll be discreet, James. Now, about your daughters, Emma and Sophie, 14 and 12, right? You want custody. James nodded. I've been their primary caregiver. Lauren's always working late. Rachel scribbled more notes. Courts often favor mothers, but we'll fight for you, especially with these circumstances. Just to be safe, would you consider a paternity test? James bristled but relented. I'm sure they're mine, but I'll do it for the court. Rachel handed him a lab contact card and a checklist. Get that test done and keep me posted. Don't confront Lauren yet, let the PI work. We'll build a strong case. James thanked her, his resolve firm. As he left, he felt a flicker of hope. Lauren's lies were unraveling, and he'd protect his girls, no matter what. Driving to the lab, James called Lauren's sister, Claire, needing answers. Hey, James. Claire answered cheerfully. That day, he said, cutting to the chase. Lauren's been cheating. I found out through a health issue. Claire gasped. Oh, James, I'm so sorry. Look, I hate to say it, but Lauren was wild in college, never faithful. I thought she changed for you. The words hit hard, but James pressed on. Can she stay with you if we split? Claire sighed. Maybe for a bit, but my husband won't like it long term. I'll help her move, though. James thanked her, hanging up as he pulled into the lab. At home, Emma and Sophie burst through the door, surprised to see him. Dad, you're home early. Emma said, her eyes narrowing. You okay? James forced a smile. Rough day, girls. Pack some things, you're staying with Grandma and Grandpa for a bit. Sophie frowned. Is Mom in trouble? James hesitated, then nodded. Something like that. We'll talk soon. Emma's voice dropped. Dad, I heard her on the phone. She called someone honey, giggling like she does at work. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. James hugged her. It's okay, sweetheart. You did nothing wrong. He pulled out a DNA test kit. Just a quick swab for the lawyer, okay? It's routine. The girls complied, their trust in him unwavering. As they packed, James swabbed his cheek, sealing the samples. I'm fighting for you both, he said, hugging them. I love you. Emma's eyes teared up. We love you too, Dad. Sophie nodded, her face set. Mom messed up, didn't she? James sighed. Yeah, she did. But we'll be okay. Dropping the girls at his parents' house, James felt their support like a lifeline. He handed the DNA kit to the lab, his mind racing. Lauren's $800,000, her lies, her voice calling someone honey, it all pointed to a life he never knew. As he drove home, one thought burned: justice, not vengeance, would set him free. But what would the PI uncover next? James Carter's heart pounded as he left Rachel Torres's office, the weight of Lauren's betrayal sinking deeper. The $800,000 secret account, her flirty calls overheard by Emma, the infection burning through him, every clue pointed to a life Lauren had hidden for years. By the end of the day, a private investigator's findings would tear open the truth, but a call from Lauren's sister would reveal a past that stung even more. James drove to his Seattle home, the city's gray drizzle mirroring his mood. He needed to stay calm for Emma and Sophie, but anger simmered beneath his faith. Vengeance is mine, his father's words echoed, grounding him. At home, he rechecked the bank statements, the numbers glaring: $792,436 amassed over 8 years. Lauren's commissions were high, but this? It felt like a plan to vanish. Was she funneling money through shady deals? The thought gnawed at him as he prepared for the girls' return from school. Emma and Sophie burst through the door, their backpacks thudding. Dad, you're still home? Sophie asked, her brow furrowed. James forced a smile. Just wrapping up some stuff. You packed for Grandma's? Emma studied him, her intuition sharp. This is about Mom, isn't it? Those calls I heard, she's cheating, right? Her voice cracked and James's heart ached. He knelt, meeting her gaze. I'm handling it, Em. You don't need to worry. Just trust me, okay? She nodded, tears brimming, and hugged him tight. Sophie joined, her silence heavy. James handed them the DNA test results, sealed from the lab. These are for the lawyer to make sure everything's clear for us, he said. Emma frowned. You don't think we're not yours, do you? James shook his head. You're mine, no question. This is just legal stuff. Relieved, they grabbed their bags and James drove them to his parents' house, the car quiet except for Sophie's soft humming. At his parents' doorstep, Paul and Diane enveloped the girls in hugs. We've got them, son, Paul said, his hand firm on James's shoulder. You focus on what's next. Diane added, we're praying for you, James. Stay strong. He nodded, gratitude anchoring him, and handed over the girls' schedules. I'll call tonight, he promised, kissing Emma and Sophie goodbye. Their worried glances lingered as he drove away. Back in his car, James called Claire, Lauren's sister, needing clarity. James, you okay? Claire's voice was warm but cautious. Not really, he admitted. I found out Lauren's cheating through a health issue. And there's a bank account almost $800,000 I didn't know about. Claire gasped, then sighed. God, James, I'm sorry. Lauren, she was never faithful in college, hopping from guy to guy. I thought you changed her. She swore you were her soulmate. The words hit like a punch. She lied to us both, James said, his voice tight. Claire, if we split, can she stay with you for a bit? Claire hesitated. Maybe a week, but my husband's not keen on long-term. I'll help her settle, though. James thanked her, his mind racing. Lauren's past wasn't just wild, it was a pattern. How long had she played him? His phone buzzed in email from Rachel. The private investigator, moving fast, had sent preliminary findings. James pulled over, his pulse quickening, and opened the file. Photos loaded, Lauren at a downtown hotel, arm in arm with her boss, David Kessler, a slick real estate mogul. Another shot showed them kissing in a car. A brief audio clip followed, Lauren's voice unmistakable, Greg's clueless, David. He thinks I'm at a seminar. I've got the account ready, when the girls are in college, I'm out. David chuckled. You're ruthless, babe. What's the balance now? Almost $800,000, she purred. Enough for us to start fresh. James's hands shook, betrayal cutting deeper. Lauren wasn't just cheating, she was planning to abandon their family. The account wasn't just commissions, the PI noted irregular deposits, possibly tied to inflated deals at her agency. Was she breaking the law? James forwarded the email to Rachel, adding, we need to freeze that account. And check if her deals are dirty. Rachel replied instantly, on it. PI's digging deeper. Stay calm, we've got her. At home, James paced, the audio replaying in his mind. Lauren's dismissive tone, Greg's clueless, burned. He wanted to call her, scream, but Rachel's warning held him back, don't confront her yet. Instead, he brewed coffee, the ritual calming his nerves. His phone buzzed again, Lauren. Hey, Han, she chirped, her fake charm grating. Still at that showing. Be home late. Love you. James's jaw clenched. Sure, he said, hanging up without reciprocating. Did she notice? He didn't care. He called Rachel, needing to act. Those photos, that audio, it's enough, right? He asked. Rachel's voice was steady. It's damning, James. Adultery plus potential fraud? We can file for divorce and request a forensic audit of her finances. The court will favor you for custody, especially with Emma's testimony about the calls. James exhaled, relief mixing with dread. What about the money? She'll claim it's legit, Rachel said. But irregular deposits raise red flags. My PI's checking her agency's records. If there's fraud, it's game over for her. James nodded, though she couldn't see. I want full custody. The girls can't live with her. Rachel agreed. We'll push hard. Get some rest, you're doing the right thing. Hanging up, James sank onto the couch, exhaustion hitting. The DNA results, still unopened, sat on the table. He didn't need to check, he knew Emma and Sophie were his. But for the court, he'd confirm it. He texted the lab, scheduling a pickup, then called his parents. Lauren's been lying for years, he told Paul, his voice low. There's money, a guy, a plan to leave us. Paul's response was firm. You're stronger than this, son. Protect those girls. We're here. Diane took the phone. James, bring the girls' favorite snacks tomorrow. They need normalcy. Her warmth steadied him. Thanks, Mom. I'll see you soon. As he hung up, a text from Claire arrived, talk to Lauren's coworker. She's been cozy with her boss for months. I'm so sorry. James's stomach churned. Months? Years? How deep did this go? His phone pinged again, Rachel. PI found more. Lauren's been funneling bonuses through a shell account. Possible embezzlement. I'm contacting the DA's office tomorrow. James's eyes widened. Embezzlement? Lauren wasn't just a cheater, she might be a criminal. He replied, keep me posted. I want justice, not revenge. Rachel's response was swift, you'll get it. As night fell, James sat in the dark, coffee cold. Lauren's voice echoed in his head, plotting her escape. But now he held the cards. The PI's next report, due tomorrow, promised more, maybe enough to end her lies for good. But a nagging fear lingered. What if David, her lover, fought back? James pushed the thought aside, praying for strength. Tomorrow, he'd face the truth, whatever it cost. James Carter's resolve hardened as the private investigators' evidence piled up. Lauren's affair with her boss, David, her $800,000 secret account, and whispers of embezzlement. He was ready to confront her, divorce papers drafted, but fate had other plans. A single phone call would turn his anger to shock, forcing him to choose between justice and mercy. It was Tuesday evening and James sat in his Seattle home, the silence deafening without Emma and Sophie. The PI's audio, Lauren's cold, Greg's clueless, looped in his mind, fueling his hurt. Rachel Torres had texted, DA's reviewing Lauren's account. Possible fraud charges. Meet tomorrow to finalize divorce. James exhaled, picturing full custody of his girls. But a nagging fear lingered. Would David retaliate? The thought vanished when his phone rang. Claire, Lauren's sister, her voice frantic. James, it's Lauren, Claire sobbed. She's in the hospital. A car crash, some guy ran a red light. She's in the ICU at Harborview. James froze, his anger colliding with dread. Is she alive? He managed. Barely, Claire said. She's unconscious on a ventilator. You need to come. James grabbed his keys, his mind a storm. He hated Lauren, but death? He wasn't ready for that. At Harborview Medical Center, the ICU's sterile hum greeted him. Claire, red-eyed, hugged him tightly. She was leaving a showing, she whispered. The other drivers in custody, cops say he was distracted. James nodded, his throat tight, and followed a nurse to Lauren's room. Tubes snaked from her pale body, monitors beeping. A doctor approached, his badge reading Dr. Nguyen. Mr. Carter? He asked. Your wife's stable but critical. We're monitoring for brain swelling. She may need surgery. James stared at Lauren, her face bruised but serene. The woman who'd betrayed him looked fragile, human. Will she wake up? He asked. Dr. Nguyen hesitated. We're hopeful, but it's too soon to say. She's lucky to be alive. James nodded, torn between pity and rage. Thanks, doctor. Claire touched his arm. What are you going to do? James shook his head. I don't know. Back in the waiting room, James called Rachel. Lauren's in a coma, he said, his voice low. Car crash. What does this mean for the divorce? Rachel paused. Legally, it's still valid, but serving papers now might look cold in court. My advice? Wait a week, let her stabilize. The DA's moving on her account, frauds confirmed. She funneled bonuses through fake clients. James's jaw tightened. So she's a thief too. Rachel's tone softened. Focus on your girls. We'll handle the rest. Hanging up, James sank into a chair, praying for clarity. His parents' words echoed, vengeance is mine. He wanted justice, not cruelty. Lauren's lies had shattered their family, but seeing her broken shifted something. He pulled out the divorce papers, tucked in his jacket, and added a note. I know about David, the money, everything. You broke us. I'm filing for divorce and custody. Get well, but we're done. He slipped it into an envelope with the PI's photos, leaving it with Claire. Give her this if she wakes, he said. Claire nodded, tears falling. I'm so sorry, James. Driving home, James felt a strange relief. The note wasn't vengeance, it was truth. Lauren would face consequences, but he'd shown mercy by not confronting her in the ICU. He called his parents, updating them. Paul's voice was steady. You did right, son. Protect Emma and Sophie now. Diane added, bring the girls home soon. They need you. James agreed, promising to visit tomorrow. At home, he checked his phone. A text from the lab. DNA results confirm. Emma and Sophie are yours. Relief washed over him, though he'd never doubted it. Another text from Rachel. DA's freezing Lauren's account. Her agency's under investigation. Stay strong. James replied, thanks. I'm ready for court. He brewed coffee, the ritual grounding him, and sat in the dark. Lauren's crash had changed the game, but not his goal. A safe future for his girls. As dawn broke, James got a call from Claire. Lauren's awake, she said, her voice shaky. She's weak but asking for you. She saw your note. James's heart raced. The confrontation he'd delayed was here. What would Lauren say, faced with her lies? And would Emma and Sophie ever forgive her? One thing was clear. Justice was coming, and James was ready to fight. James Carter stood outside Lauren's hospital room, his note and divorce papers now in her hands. She was awake, weak but aware of her exposed lies. The affair with David, the $800,000 secret account, the embezzlement. The truth hung heavy in the Seattle air. But James wasn't here for vengeance. Only justice. Today, he'd face Lauren, fight for his daughters, and close a painful chapter. It was Wednesday morning. The hospital's antiseptic scent sharp. Claire, Lauren's sister, met James in the hall, her eyes puffy. She's read your note, Claire whispered. She's a mess, James. Wants to see you. James nodded, his jaw tight. Emma and Sophie, safe with his parents, had refused to visit their mother. Emma's words echoed. She lied to us all, Dad. Their pain fueled his resolve. Inside, Lauren lay propped on pillows, her face pale, eyes sunken. James, she croaked, tears spilling. I'm so sorry. He stood firm, arms crossed. Sorry doesn't fix this, Lauren. You cheated, stole, planned to leave us. I trusted you. Her sob broke the silence. I was scared, James. Scared of being just a mom, a wife. David made me feel alive. The money was for us, I swear. Then it became my escape. Escape? James's voice rose, then steadied. You called me clueless, laughed about it. You funneled bonuses through fake clients. That's not fear, that's greed. Lauren flinched, wiping her eyes. I was wrong. I hate myself for it. Please, don't take the girls. James shook his head. You broke their trust, too. They don't want to see you. I'm filing for full custody. Claire stepped in, touching Lauren's shoulder. He's right, sis. You need to own this. Lauren nodded, defeated. What happens now? James met her gaze. Divorce. I'm taking half the account for Emma and Sophie's future. The DA's handling your fraud. Face the consequences, Lauren. She closed her eyes, tears falling. Can I ever see the girls again? James softened, but only slightly. That's up to them, not me. He left the room, his chest lighter. Rachel Torres waited outside, her briefcase ready. How'd it go? She asked. She admitted everything, James said. Let's file today. Rachel nodded. The DA's pressing charges, embezzlement, wire fraud. Her agency fired her for ethics violations. With her confession, custody's yours. The account's frozen. You'll get your share. James exhaled, relief washing over him. Thank you, Rachel. At his parents' house, James hugged Emma and Sophie, their faces tense. Mom's awake, he said gently. She's sorry, but I'm filing for divorce. You'll live with me. Emma's eyes teared up. Good. She doesn't deserve us. Sophie frowned. Will we ever have to see her? James knelt, holding their hands. Only if you want to. I'll protect you, always. They nodded, clinging to him, their trust his anchor. The divorce moved swiftly. By Friday, Rachel filed, citing adultery and fraud. Lauren, still recovering, didn't contest. The court granted James full custody, with supervised visitation for Lauren if the girls agreed. The $800,000 was split. Half to James for the girls' college funds, half to Lauren, pending DA penalties. Her agency's investigation deepened, threatening jail time. James felt no joy, only closure. Lauren's choices had cost her everything. James called Claire, checking in. She's moving to my place next week, Claire said. She's starting therapy, trying to change. I hope the girls give her a chance someday. James sighed. I hope so too, for their sake. Thanks for helping her. Hanging up, he felt a flicker of peace. Justice, not vengeance, had prevailed. That evening, James took Emma and Sophie to their favorite park, their laughter healing his heart. Dad, you're the best, Sophie said, hugging him. Emma smiled. Can we get pizza tonight? James laughed, nodding. Anything for you too. As they walked, his phone buzzed, a text from Rachel, divorce finalized. You're free. James smiled, the weight of betrayal lifting. The future was his to build, and he'd do it for his girls. James Carter had one justice. Lauren's lies, her affair, her $800,000 embezzlement cost her their marriage, her job, and her daughter's trust. With full custody of Emma and Sophie, James rebuilt their Seattle life, his faith guiding him. A year later, a new spark of hope flickered, promising a future he never expected. It was a crisp May morning, 2026, and James, now 39, stood in his kitchen, flipping pancakes for Emma, 15, and Sophie, 13. Their laughter filled the house, a stark contrast to last year's pain. Dad, you're gonna burn those. Sophie teased, nudging him. Emma grinned, setting the table. Better than your eggs, sophomore? James chuckled, his heart full. The divorce was behind them, the $400,000 from Lauren's account secured for the girls' college funds. Lauren faced probation for fraud, her life unraveling while James's steadied. At their church, James found solace in routine, Sunday services, coffee with the congregation. His parents, Paul and Diane, joined them weekly, their pride evident. You're a rock, son, Paul said, clapping his shoulder. Diane hugged the girls. You're growing so fast. Emma rolled her eyes, but smiled. Sophie whispered, Grandma, Dad's been weirdly happy lately. Diane winked. Maybe he's got a reason. That reason was Sarah, a 36-year-old widowed teacher James met at a church potluck. Her warm laugh and quiet strength drew him in. Over shared stories of parenting, her son, Liam, was 10, they bonded. It's hard raising kids alone, Sarah said one evening, stirring coffee. But you make it look easy. James shook his head. It's not. Emma and Sophie keep me going. Sarah's eyes softened. They're lucky to have you. A playful nudge of her foot under the table sparked something new, a warmth he hadn't felt in years. James confided in Rachel Torres, his attorney-turned-friend. Sarah's great, but I'm scared to mess this up, he admitted over lunch. Rachel smiled. You deserve this, James. Take it slow, but don't hide from happiness. He nodded, her words echoing his parents' advice. That night, he asked Sarah to dinner, his palms sweaty. I'd love that, she said, her smile bright. Emma and Sophie, eavesdropping, cheered. Go, Dad. Emma called, high-fiving Sophie. The date was simple, a cozy Italian place, candlelight flickering. Sarah shared her loss, her husband gone 5 years. I thought I'd never date again, she admitted. James nodded. I get it. Lauren's betrayal. I didn't trust my judgment. But you're different. Their hands brushed and Sarah laughed, easing his nerves. Let's do this again, she said, her eyes warm. James grinned, hope blooming. Meanwhile, Lauren was rebuilding. Claire updated James, she's in therapy, working a desk job. She asks about the girls. James sighed. They're not ready. But Emma, curious, had secretly texted Lauren, testing the waters. She sounds sorry, Emma told James one night, hesitant. But I'm still mad. James hugged her. Take your time, Em. You don't owe her anything. Sophie, quieter, shook her head. I'm good with just you, Dad. A month later, Emma met Lauren for coffee, supervised by Claire. It was tense, Lauren tearful, Emma guarded, but a start. She's trying, Emma reported, shrugging. We'll see. James nodded, proud of her strength. Sophie stayed distant, but James didn't push. Healing would come on their terms. By summer, James and Sarah were steady, their kids blending like siblings. Liam and Sophie bonded over video games while Emma mentored Liam at school. At a church picnic, Sarah laced her fingers with James's, her son cheering them on. "You're happier, Dad?" Emma said later, smiling. "Sarah's cool." Sophie agreed. "Just don't burn the pancakes, okay?" James called Claire, checking on Lauren. "She's volunteering, making amends," Claire said. "Hopes to see Sophie someday." James softened. "Tell her to keep trying." The girls decide. Hanging up, he felt peace. Lauren's redemption was her own path, his was here with his girls and Sarah. As James drove to Sarah's for dinner, Emma and Sophie waved from the porch, their trust is greatest win. The road ahead glowed with possibility, a new love, a healed family, a life rebuilt not on vengeance but on faith and justice.